Hello everybody and welcome back to another episode of an Irish knitting podcast. I am Sam, I'm an artist, illustrator and aspiring knitting designer coming to you from Dublin in Ireland. And you can find me all around the internet, the links are below in the description. I am attempting a little bit of a rebranding on my artistic business. I know rebranding is a thing that I've done before without much success, but yeah, I think it's time. I'm a bit more a grown up as an artist. But anyway, you're not interested in all of these things. You're here for the knitting. First of all, thank you so much if you are a new viewer for coming by. And if you are a returning viewer, well, thank you very, very much. As I mentioned last week, we reached 5,000 subscribers, which I know is not that much in terms of YouTube audiences, but it really means a lot to me. Every time I open my YouTube page, I'm always flabbergasted by the amount of people that decided to be part of my little crafting and artistic community. So thank you so much, and thank you as well who decided to support me on Ko-fi or Patreon. All the links are below if you like to support me. We still need a new computer and I haven't managed to get around to get one. Anyway, I was not going to record this video. I am in a very grumpy mood. I don't know if it's the weather. Outside is terribly raining and I was meant to repaint the wooden fence around my garden 2 days ago, but it's been raining since, so I bought all the materials, brushes, the paint, wood stain, everything, gloves, and then it started raining, so I'm very upset about that. So yeah, I wasn't going to record, but on the back of my mind I had this thing that I haven't recorded a podcast in quite a long time, and I started seeing YouTube algorithm being a little angry with me, so here we go. Fear not, because we have plenty of projects to talk about. Now, another thing I need to address here is there won't be any music on this podcast. I made many people angry about my little music background type of thing, so let me know if you don't like the music background. Check out my previous video for a little bit of a comparison. Let me know if you like to get back the music background. Let me know as well. I have no idea what to do. I thought it was a clever idea. People seem like not to like it, so yeah, fair enough. I told you I'm grumpy today. The other thing I need to address is my situation. I am a disgrace because I'm a very terrible podcaster, so I'm wearing a shirt because, of course, I need to try on a couple of finished works. But as well, I'm wearing shorts and gym gear underneath because I'm just back from the gym, and if you don't trust me, here we go. Terrible podcaster. So let's get into the finished works. And I have three finished works. The first one being this. This is the Stockholm Sleepover by Petite Knit, and this is the version with the V-neck that I made for the summer. Apparently we are not delighted with the summer weather yet, but let me put this on, I'll show you how it fits, and then I'll talk to you about the pattern. Alright, we are not blessed with a mirror, so we are going to do this the best we can with the viewfinder. Let me move the camera a little bit. Ta-da! Here we go. This is the Stockholm Sleepover by Petite Knit, and I think it fits quite nice. So back to the chairing situation. I have knitted this, and I'm looking at my notes because I can't remember. I've knitted this in saffron by Drops, which is a 100% Egyptian cotton 50 gram balls by 160 meters. For reference, I knitted the third size, not really respecting too much the gauge there, but even not modifying the patterns at all. So I followed the pattern, I didn't follow gauge, but I really hoped that the larger amount of stitches would be alright to fit my body. And I knitted using 3.25 millimeter needles. It's nice and comfortable. I really like the fit. I do not like the fabric. I think cotton yarn, at least this Egyptian cotton by Drops, doesn't really look great in terms of fabric. Let me give you a closer look. You see here, for example, we have a very apparent rowing. And it's not really very good. What can I say? I've done my best to get the tension, similar tension in the pearls and knitted stitches. The rowing situation worked as well, or appeared as well, when talking about knitting the round, so I don't really think it's a tension issue. It probably is, but I haven't figured out how to solve it yet. But it was a good experiment. I'm not gonna keep this. I probably will give it up to charity, because it's still a very nice hand knitted piece, and if someone likes it, fair play. I love the color though, I really do, and this is the moss green color. I don't remember the number, but it's very nice. The yarn, it's really inexpensive. A ball, 50 gram balls, was about €1.65. Very precise pricing there. And I used 4 balls to knit this, which is just very good. I think price-wise for the knitting. Now, the pattern, it's really nicely written. I really enjoyed knitting the pattern, especially because, you will see it in a second, I've knitted it twice. And I thought that the first time was a bit rocky because just a new pattern, I wasn't used to it. But the second time around was actually really seamless and very good. Extraordinarily well described, and petite knit, they always fit very nice. The thing that run me completely mad is this, the V-neck ribbing piece. So now it's a 1x1 ribbing, fair enough, and then there is this decreasing thing, but the point is that in the pattern, Petite Knit recommends to pick up and knit a certain amount of stitches following a certain amount of picking up, how's it called? Rhythm gauge? You know what I mean. I'm making this up. Every 3 rows you pick up 1. Petite Knit gives an instruction to pick the exact amount of stitches, and that didn't work. I think I tried to pick up stitches on this specific one, say about 20 times. Really, at the end, I figured out that in the pattern there were some stitches that I didn't consider needed to pick up. For example, where the shoulders are knitted together, are sewn together, you have to pick up a number of stitches there. and as well in the middle here you have to pick up a number of stitches. So yeah, it was a bit confusing, but overall it looks great. And let me show you the other version because I think it's even better. Here we go. So this is the second version, which I knit using a woolen yarn this time. This is some sort of lamb's wool super soft yarn by, can't remember the name, by J.C. Rennie. It's Prussian blue, it's a fingering weight yarn in those big cones that I absolutely adore. I have a decent stash of those cones, and I'm always afraid to use them because they are so precious and they are so beautiful, and I really enjoy knitting with them, and the wool is just amazing. I think the finished work here is so much better, more professionally looking, and it fits really, really nice. I did block it quite aggressively, but I think I didn't need that. I was worried that it would be shrinking lengthwise a lot, but actually fits very good. I wouldn't do anything different on this version. The pickup rate, after learning a lot about picking up on the collar, this time worked perfectly as the pattern describes. And look at this, looks absolutely beautiful. I think I will wear this a lot. What else wanted to say on that? Yes, I knitted for this the 5th size up, for the same rationality that for the cotton yarn I knitted a 3rd size because it was a bit bigger as a yarn. For this one, the yarn is very thin, really, really thin, lacy weight. I went all the way up to the 5th size, and I think the result is just amazing, and I really, really love it, and I probably wouldn't take it off ever. Anyway, I really hope you like this. If you have knitted this pattern, the Stockholm Slipover, before, let me know what you think. Let me know if you have any recommendation for me to make another one, if there's any yarns that you would recommend for this one. I am looking right now for a summer yarn which will have still the stretch component of wool, but the coolness of cotton. So let me know. Open to you. I told you that today I was grumpy, so I'm very sorry about that. Let's go on with the next finished work. So you've seen these socks here. I haven't got the grace to block in them at all because I will wear them straight away. These are, still let me take my notes, the Shorty Heel Tab socks by Clarissa Grigory. By the way, all the patterns that I'm mentioning are below in the description, so I won't probably edit this video a lot, and I'm definitely not going to put pictures or whatever. All the links are below. If you are interested in these socks, you can find the links there. Fair enough. Now, I have knitted these socks before, following the pattern as it comes. It's a free pattern, so I can talk about the stitch count and everything else. These socks come in 3 sizes, and I started before knitting the traditional 64 stitches using a 2mm needles. For some sort of reasons, I've tried with different yarns as well, it became enormous, very slouchy, very slouchy and big. I don't like it. And so what did I do here? I went down a size and I knitted the first size, which calls for 60 stitches on the ribbing on the cuff, and that seemed to work a little better still. The first pair I knitted on this, and if you want to have a look at those, in one of the previous episodes I show you, they are like the gray one. They work fine. I wear them all the time to lounge around the place, evening time. They are just very nice and soft and perfect size, and I really love the heel tab thingy here. They are just what I was looking for in a pair of socks. But they are still big, especially on the cuff. They are really slouchy. There's no ribbing at all on the cuff, so they keep losing their shape. So what I was thinking is, let's try and make them ribbed socks all the way through. So what I've done is to start, you probably won't see because it's very dark, but I've started with a 1x1 ribbing on the cuffy side, and then everything else is in 2x2, apart from the heels and the toes and the tab on the short rowy little thing. Just I recommend you download the pattern and follow what I'm saying with the pattern under your eye, and you will understand what I mean. So the heel, the tab here, the, how is it even called? The cuff. It's not a cuff, is it? A cuff. Well, let's call it cuff for the sake of this episode. It's double folded, so you need a 10, 15 rows as the pattern says, I don't recall now. Then you do German short rows for the little tab at the back, and then you knit the same amount of short rows, you fold it over, pick up stitches, and this is the result. Works wonders. For that part, I decided to do a 1x1 ribbing just to make my life easier and the entire situation a little bit different. So now we have 1x1 at the cuff, and then it gets into a 2x2 down the foot. And I found that this really works wonders when it comes to keeping my gauge tight and the socks tight. You know, finger away yarn, sock yarn, let's say. 2mm needles, 60 stitches is literally the bare minimum I can do for socks. I don't know what else we can do. The thing that amazes me about this sock pattern, and then I stop talking about socks because we all have enough, it's the German short rows. The way the designer described the short rows, or tells you to make short rows, is absolutely fascinating, and we don't have any holes at all. Short rows are employed everywhere, in the heel, in the toe, and in the tab as well. So very, very good. For these socks, I use opal yarn, 100 grams by 425 meters, 75 virgin wool and 25 polyamide in this beautiful purple color. It's a nice yarn. Was lying in my stash for the longest amount of time. I knitted this too, and I think I still have more than 3/4 of the ball, so a lot of purple socks for me probably. Anyway, that was it in terms of finish works. I know I've been speaking a lot and very fast. Someone else in the comment mentioned that 2 things I'm doing wrong in my life, probably. Vowels, how I pronounce them, and speediness of talking. So I tried to modify vowels and the way my accent works. That is not possible. Should I just stop speaking English and speak Italian to this podcast? Let me know what you prefer. But that was really an interesting comment, let's say. And the second thing was the speed. I think I can go down a notch in speed of talking. Italian is my mother tongue, if you wish. It's not even my mother tongue. Venetian is my mother tongue, but Venetian is a romantic language as well. We don't really speak fast as the Spanish do, but probably when we translate that into English, it turns that it's faster. But it's something that I just need to be conscious of and speak slower. But yeah, if you have any recommendation for me, actually no, I don't want any recommendation, because I've been living in Ireland for almost 15 years now, and my accent has not changed that much from when I came here, so I can't really do much in the other 15 years, probably, who knows. Anyway, let's get on with the situation here. So, works in progress. Ta-da! You remember this book here that I showed you last time? I got it in Denmark a few weeks ago. It's a compilation, it's called Icelandic Knits. It's a compilation of round colorwork yokes. And it's absolutely gorgeous. So I decided to make one myself, which is this one here. As I said, I'm not probably going to edit this video, so you won't have a picture, but I'll take care of link this in the description somewhere. Anyway, this is the Around the Fire, Around the Log Fire jumper by Maria Oyampera. God knows if even it's close to that. And it's a beautiful colorwork, simple round yoke jumper. The pattern calls for a very large gauge, actually, using 6mm needles, and the gauge will be 14 stitches by 19 rows per 10 centimeters. If you know me, I will never make a jumper in that gauge. So the idea originally was to knit again the Ridari sweater by Istex, which is one of the sweaters that I love the most in my collection of knitted jumpers. I've knitted it, I say, 3 times now. And my favorite version of it is in Italy, because I brought it over there last Christmas and I left it. I have still my room at my family house and my wardrobe there as a few things to get me going and allow me not to travel with a lot of baggage. But anyway, it's down there. It's a lovely grey version with blue accents, blacks and orange, weird enough. And so far it's my absolute favorite. I'm longing for the jumper every day since I left it there. I have been longing for that jumper every day since I have left it there. Let's not give people the chance to say that even my grammar is awful. It is awful, like I'm not saying it's not. Anyway, I got the yarn out, but I was like, should I really knit another Ridari sweater? I know the pattern, it fits super well. I've done that so many times now, and I just got a book on round colorwork yokes. So it came to decide and go for this one. Now, yarn-wise, it's all yarn that I have in stash that is reduced to 1 or 2 balls of yarn, something that I don't really care a lot about, that I kept it there for a colorwork accent, for example, or to make a pair of socks, a hat, and it never came to that. So I just took it all out and I decided on a combination of colors. And we have them here. I think that looks very, very good. We have two very dark ones and medium tone and two quite light ones. Let's get into those. So first of all, main color. Ba-bang. You've seen this in the other podcast. This is Drops Daisy, which is 50 gram balls by 110 meters, and the content is 100% merino wool, non-superwash. And this is the main one. I really wanted to try this yarn for the longest amount of time. I got a jumper quantity. So far, it knits up really, really well. It's not rustic at all, but it doesn't have the feeling of slickness that, I don't know, a superwash yarn would give you. The fear of knitting up a jumper, washing it, and the jumpers become humongous is not there. Although, because it's still merino wool, I have decided to be a little conservative with my gauge. I will show you that in a second. Let's go on with the yarns. Accent colors now. We have a teeny tiny bit. This is probably, I don't know, 10 grams, 15 grams of Peer Gynt by Sadness Guard, 90 meters by 100 by 50 grams, which is more or less the same length versus weight of everything that I will be talking about today. So all the case yarn basically. And this is the mustard color in which I have recently knitted the Zipper Sweater Light by Petite Knit. I had this crappy piece of yarn left, and the pattern calls for a couple of rows of this color, so I thought, why not using that? Then we have two drops Lima for other two contrasting colors. We have this beautiful purpley one, color 5820, and a darkish gray, which is 519. Drops Lima, as you know, is one of my favorite yarns. It's 50 grams by 100 meters, 75% of wool and 35% of alpaca. Absolutely one of my favorite yarns ever. If the Drops Daisy doesn't work out, Drops Lima will be my general easy to get DK yarn. I think Peer Gynt is my favorite yarn DK way so far, but it's difficult to get here in Ireland, so Drops Lima may be the case. And I think the two colors are lovely together, and with the jumpery situation will be nice. And then my third color is this ball of Drops Merino Extra Fine that I had in a stash for the longest amount of time. This is color 01. It's infamous. I have knitted a full cable jumper on this. Took me ages. Was perfectly fitting. I put it in the washing machine. This is superwash. It became a tent. It was ginormous. I think I could wear it as a dress. So I believe that a little accent of color work want to make the difference, and I want to get rid of this thing. Now you may say, what have you knitted so far? And so far I've knitted a lot, actually, a lot, for the standards of a jumper. So we have two beautiful sleeves, and even we have a body. Ta-da! Just the ribbing and a little bit of the color work on the lower side of the body. I am knitting the larger size. Only comes in 3 sizes. I don't know. And once again, I'm not following gauge here. I am going with the wind. I think the jumper will work out fine. I'm always comparing this pattern with the Ridari patterns because they have a similar amount of stitches that I know work for my size. So if at some point I find that there is a massive discrepancy between the two, I will use the color work chart for this, but follow the other pattern. I will tell you about that when I get to that point. So far, the sleeves fit perfectly, the body fits nicely. It's a bit scrunch up here, but yeah, tried it on, works okay. I've done something new with all of this knitting, which is the ribbing. For a long time, I avoided Italian cast on for 2x2 ribbing because I thought it wasn't necessary in my knitting life to have such a complicated cast on. But I actually found it extraordinarily easy after, of course, watching a video. I think I followed, I might say something completely stupid, but the super pink video? Knitting pink? The pink video. You know what I'm talking about. If I find it again, I'll put the link below in the description. So basically, you do your Italian cast on, your tubular cast on, and you do your first 2 rows. But you know, tubular Italian cast on is made for 1x1 ribbing. So on the next round, when you join in the round the situation, if you're knitting in the round, you will have to move the stitches. And I found that, first of all, you have to move only a stitch every 3 or 4. So it's not that big amount of work. And secondly, it's like cable knitting, which is without a cable needle. So it's completely fine. It's very easy. I don't know why I was bothered about that for the past 75 years. Anyway, it works fine. It's very neat. I love it. It will become my favorite cast-on method. It's already become my favorite cast-on method. And 2x2 ribbing is so delicious, isn't it? Anyway, we are done with that. Anything else I want to say about that jumper? Not really. I'm a bit afraid about gauge issue, but so far it seemed to work. If it doesn't work, we make some modifications. All the yarn that I've used there, it's a kind of scrap yarn, so I'm not absolutely crazy if it doesn't work. But yeah, that's it for today. I'm really sorry for my interesting mood. I really hope you don't mind. And if you don't mind as well, please take a second to subscribe to this channel, because it really means a lot to me and helps me to fight the battle against the algorithm of YouTube that is destroying my channel and probably my mental health as well. But we're not talking about that in this podcast. I hope you have a great weekend, a lovely bank holiday, and yeah, that's it. I'll talk to you very soon. Bye bye.